President Rodrigo Duterte reverts Metro Manila and the provinces of Laguna, Cavite, Rizal, and Bulacan to modified enhanced community quarantine or MECQ starting August 4 to 18. The capital region was supposed to remain under general community quarantine from August 1 to 15. Interior Secretary Eduardo Año says the use of quarantine passes will be implemented once more under MECQ. He adds, checkpoints at the borders of the quarantine areas will again be enforced by the police. Duterte's move comes after some 80,000 doctors and 1 million nurses strongly urged the Duterte administration to review its current response to the outbreak. Over 80 medical societies in a statement say, quote, "Healthcare workers are united in sounding off a distress signal to the nation. Our healthcare system has been overwhelmed. We are waging a losing battle against COVID-19. But in a speech on Sunday, August 2, Duterte slams them for going public with their criticisms of his government's response to the pandemic.
Yung mga health workers na hindi connected sa gobyerno, we will try to help. But that there is no need for you and for the guys, ng 1,000 of you, telling us what to do publicly. You could have just wrote us a letter. Next time, you can just ask for an audience. Pero huwag kayong magsigaw-sigaw ng revolusyon. Alam mo, sa totoo ko, alam niyo hindi ako kilala talaga. Magsabi kayo revolusyon, then, ngayon na. Go ahead. Try it. Sirain natin itong patayin natin lahat ng COVID.
Philippine Medical Association President Dr. Jose Santiago Jr. clarifies on Monday their call was to revert to enhanced community quarantine and nothing else. He adds, there is no other enemy here except COVID-19. The Philippine College of Physicians also says Monday the medical groups never called for a revolution. The Health Department records 3,226 new cases of coronavirus in the country on Monday, August 3. This brings the total confirmed cases to 106,330. The country breached the 5,000 mark in a single day Sunday, August 2, with 5,032 new cases. Quezon City Task Force Disciplina Head Rani Ludovica threatens violators of the upcoming Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine or MECQ with a shoot-to-kill policy. In a Facebook post Monday, August 3, Ludovica says starting tomorrow, all violators of the MECQ will face a shoot-to-kill policy. He took the post down within 3 hours. Ludovica was a former Quezon City councilor and now heads the Task Force Disciplina of the city, a civilian force supposed to be force multipliers of both social workers and police personnel. Because of the pandemic, it has been tapped to patrol neighborhoods and enforce quarantine rules. Members have been accused of abuse on at least one occasion. In April, members of the task force were caught on camera beating and dragging a fish vendor who failed to wear a face mask in public. The Armed Forces of the Philippines wants to include social media use in the scope of the controversial anti-terror law. New AFP Chief Lieutenant General Gilbert Gapay says Monday, August 3, there is a need for specific provisions on the use of social media. He says terrorist organizations have used different social media platforms as channels to hatch their plans against governments and civilians. But the anti-terror law does not explicitly say it covers social media use, only quote-unquote writings. Lawyers earlier warned the law can be used to go after critics of the government on social media. So far, the government has been arresting critics over social media posts through the cyber libel law and the revised penal code's provision on inciting to sedition. Gapay, in his Assumption address, also says the AFP under his leadership will prioritize implementing the anti-terror law and President Rodrigo Duterte's order to end the communist insurgency.
There will be no let-up as we continue to be at the forefront, confronting all these threats.
Senator Cynthia Villar says her controversial work harder remark was not aimed at medical professionals fighting the coronavirus pandemic, but at the government, particularly the Department of Health or DOH. Villar backpedals after intense public backlash for a DWIZ radio interview last Saturday, August 1.
So may panawagan nanawagan po yung ilang samahan ng mga doctors na ibalik daw ho, ilagay uli ang Metro Manila sa Enhanced Community Quarantine o ECQ. Conforme po ba kayo doon o hindi?
Hindi na siguro. Oo, pagbutihin nila trabaho nila. Oo, hindi pwedeng isara ang ekonomiya kasi kung hindi naman mamamatay sa COVID, mamamatay naman ng gutom ang mga tao.
On Sunday, August 2, Villar in a statement says, "We have to work harder and better, but I'm not referring in particular to the medical workers, our frontliners. We are referring to all of us and DOH and PhilHealth in particular." This is not the first time Villar came under fire for an insensitive comment. She apologized in May this year after saying the government should not extend help to middle-class families affected by the coronavirus pandemic since they were getting by. Ronald Cardema makes a comeback as a commissioner in the National Youth Commission or NYC. He is back in a post lower than his original position as chairperson of the NYC. Kardema's appointment comes after a failed bid to occupy a seat at the House of Representatives with the party-list group Duterte Youth. The party-list group won one seat in the 2019 elections. In August 2019, the Commission on Elections or COMELEC canceled his nomination. Kardema was not on the list of nominees originally submitted to the COMELEC by Duterte Youth. A day before Election Day, he filed a petition to substitute the first nominee of the group, who is his wife. Representatives of the youth sector must be at least 25 years old, but not more than 30 years old on Election Day. Kardema is 34 years old. A graphic posted on Facebook group Sara Duterte Supporters for 2022 features an image of comedian Michael V and a poem written by him. It also includes the words, "I stand with the president." The graphic is false. Michael V did not say he stands with President Duterte or that he supports Sara Duterte in the 2022 elections. The verse from his poem that was used in the graphic says, "Whoever is chosen president by the people will be unable to carry the burden without our support. Whatever good he starts, we should continue till the end." The post has at least 7,500 reactions, 408 comments, and 4,300 shares. The comedian's poem was actually posted on his Instagram page on May 16, 2016, right after Duterte won the presidency. Michael V says he wrote the poem 4 years ago to encourage people to accept and respect the election results. The comedian clarifies his poem is not a recent post. "I have no problem with people using it for the right reason, but let's not use it as campaign material." He uses the hashtag fake news.